Welcome everybody to Fans Only Sports Network for high school field hockey. We have the National Thunderbolts fans and the visiting purple of Classical. As we are just about to get, or we are already underway, and whistles are already blown. Hi everybody, Tim Mean here along with Matt Jules. Matt, how you doing today?
I am doing well. It is a beautiful 70 degrees and we've got a field hockey game we didn't expect to have on the schedule. They moved this one from another spot on the schedule, and so we end up with a Thursday afternoon field hockey game that we didn't expect to have.
Yeah, and it seems that Classical didn't really know there was a game today as they arrived pretty late near the 4 o'clock starting time, so they had to practice a little extra.
Yeah, we're supposed to start at 4 o'clock. Instead, we get a 4:30 start.
Also, well, just an extra 30 minutes of being here as we are in purple territory. And play stops there.
So a corner insert early here for East.
Gonna drop it off to the outside as it's taken by the purple. A lot of movement around there. Classical moving it towards the 40.
Yeah, smart play for Classical on the insert. As soon as that went just outside of the shooting circle line, they collapsed immediately on the forwards, so they were able to basically advance the ball out their way, prevent East from getting a second chance.
And it's Classical with the ball once again.
Yeah, stick infraction. You could hear it all the way up here. That clack of the stick, you can't chop down on another player's stick when they're trying to draw the ball.
Yeah, there's a lot of rules and just penalties that a lot of people don't understand. So it's great we have Matt here, a former field hockey player, to explain everything for us. So thank you once again, Matt, as the ball will roll past the goal net.
Yeah, past the goal and out of play, and so that's going to be a free hit for the Thunderbolts, and that's going to come from right about 25 out. And you see that light blue line. That's the shooting circle referred to.
It's a purple battling for it, and a whistle blown.
Yeah, probably most likely there a body infraction, somebody getting a knee or a foot to the ball. There wasn't anything heard of a stick check.
Ball goes out of play once again.
Yeah, deflected off of East, so that's going to be a purple hit from 30.
Let's see what they do with it. They back it to the back past the 30 as Cranston is going to try and take the ball away, and another whistle blown.
Yeah, they're very, this one's going to be probably placed at the 25 by the referees because I don't think they were inside of the circle yet, so she's going to have to draw back. If you're inside of that light blue line, that shooting circle, what they call it, it would have been a corner for Classical.
And ref points to Classical's side.
Yeah, body contact by Classical, the number 5 there. She hit her shin going forward into the ball.
And it'll be Cranston hitting it. Purple have it at the 30. Pass that to the 20. Back to the 25.
Good draw across there, and as a 15, I think that's Lily Tillinghast for East got in the way of that one. Good defensive play and then got bumped.
Chloe Pacheco to hit it.
Classical's roster online had names and no numbers. We got a smattering of them from the coaching staff just before the game. We'll integrate that as we go along, but we're working with with not much info to go on for Classical, unfortunately.
Very rushed information. Had to get rosters and numbers last minute, or numbers last minute.
I sent you a text with a picture. Just throw it in when you can, but I mean. And so a whistle. Dangerous hit.
It will be Cranston to hit it. Purple with possession. They pass it towards midfield. They're moving towards that sideline. Cranston. Another whistle blown there.
And not entirely sure I like that call. That was just a body contact tie up, and they called Classical for the ball, but Cranston had opportunity for advantage. Sometimes the referees are so quick to blow their whistles on contact that they disallow something to occur. Would like to see a more soccer-style rule put in play.
And I don't know if this is an accurate comparison, but, you know, just kind of reminds me a little bit of soccer, but with a little different sets of rules. But
no, you're right. You're right in a lot of ways. It's 11v11 on the field, so you've got a lot of the formations that you'll see in field hockey very similar to what you see in soccer. That sometimes that 3 or 4 back, 2 in the midfield, kind of going 2-4 up front. So you'll see a lot of similar field formations to soccer, and the point of carry the ball, possession play, moving about inside your zone. It does have similarities in some natures, but then, of course, the rules are dramatically different between soccer and field hockey.
And, of course, the biggest difference being the use of field hockey sticks.
And then you could go the difference between field hockey and ice hockey sticks. Field hockey, you can only use one side of the stick. You can't use the bow side. You can only use the flat side. So you don't have that that back forth kind of like dribble that we see in ice hockey. You've got to turn your wrists and drag to be able to move the ball. And I can tell you from experience, it's not fun on your wrists. Get a lot of carpal tunnel syndrome playing field hockey.
It just seems like a lot of rules and regulations on even like how to even hit the ball. So we should be learning. I should be learning along the way,
Yeah, the regulations on how to hit, though, have come down from what they used to be based on just the nature of development of the game. This one's going to be right in the circle.
Near east goal. Whistle's blown.
Drawn corner. Yeah, she was waiting for it. That's kind of like almost like a delayed penalty call. Just waiting for it to see that advantage was going to get played, but East gets called for the corner. So here's one difference you'll see in high school versus the college game. You don't see that bumper. You just see kind of 3 across the top and somebody trying to take the shot.
Purple moving around before another whistle is blown once again.
Ariel Lee got a little too much body to the ball of the opposing player. And another corner called for Classical.
Plenty of corners called. I don't know if this is a common theme here for field hockey. So it looks like we will see Classical hitting it. Sarah Asherov with possession before.
Yeah, she totally lost the handle on that insert. That was that was a. I don't know, that wasn't that bad of an insert. That was just a bad handle. Pacheco, great long hit.
And rolling to the 10 before slowing down. And looks like a timeout called by the purple, or actually Cranston. The play will continue.
Yeah, surprised that we're past 10 minutes gone by in this first quarter, and we haven't seen we've seen good play in the circle on both sides, but no legitimate shots yet from either side.
Yeah, a bit surprising to see.
Usually don't see as much play in the lower thirds as we've seen in a quarter without having those shots come in. Oh, the 13 of East. And I don't have a roster in front of me, so you're going to have to help me out on that. The 13 of East literally just went for a ball. Had she grabbed that, she would have had the whole backside of the net to flick it in.
Yeah, number 13 for East, Sarah Regina.
Yeah, great job by her.
It'll be Classical hitting it towards the sideline at the 20. Still working around there before rolling to midfield where it is caught by one of the Cranston players.
Again, that's another one of those stick infraction whistles. Anytime you can hear those loud clacks of the stick.
Play continuing. And another whistle blown.
Cranston, good play on the field, low stick play. They're getting their sticks down. They're impacting. The only problem is they're actually impacting the sticks of Classical players versus the ball, and that's what's forcing a lot of these whistles for the infractions.
Yeah, I feel like whistles have reached double digits so far in this match.
Oh, well, we'll absolutely. You could have double-digit whistles every single quarter in field hockey. You just don't want double-digit goals or double-digit cards because then you got players in the box, and definitely don't want that.
Yeah, definitely not gonna look good as Cranston will advance it, and a pass to a teammate before heading towards the center field.
Use your roster, call your numbers, call your names. How's it going?
Lily Sillinghast hit it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's like the biggest thing is because we feel like the parents haven't figured it out yet. Because we did. Like parents were like, we're on NFHS. Why isn't this game on NFHS? We can't find the game.
In East territory. And we'll go to the sideline where it's going to be a battle for it.
Yeah, and it goes right, so it's fansonlysports.com/Cranston East or /Cranston West. Awesome, love it. It's about a minute to go here.
And a whistle blown immediately after the hit.
It's a good idea to hit right into the circle, try to make the play develop.
A hit deep into the circle.
Oh, late corner called. Calling a corner with 20 seconds left. That's a bold move by the umpire. could have let possession play go too, because there was ample space for Classical.
Oh yeah, another thing to notice for field hockey, there's actually some players from Cranston inside the goal net. So just wanted to point that out, as it looks like we have reached the end of the
First quarter of play.
Yep, here in Cranston Stadium. The score is tied 0-0. We will take a short break and we'll be back with you for all the next quarter action.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is, when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion, or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, you know, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
And we are back here at Cranston Stadium for the second quarter of action here between Cranston and Classical. Right now the score remains tied at 0-0. Tim Bean here along with Matt Jones. And Matt, what can you say about the first quarter for both teams?
Yeah, I think for both sides, really, the point of the first quarter, the first 15 really has been possession of the ball. Both sides have had good ball possession, but at the same time, opportunities inside of the shooting circle, and nobody's really put it up on net yet. Haven't seen either goaltender really been tested.
And just as a quick reference, the Cranston Co-op will be white jerseys and green numbers, and the purple, well, you already see on the field.
I feel like Classical is like one of the most obvious because their nickname is just purple. So it's like Classical Purple. So it's like, what color are they going to be? Yeah, purple.
Me personally, I thought it was going to be blue, but it just seemed a little bit too obvious.
We have seen them with the white football jerseys. When in football games, we've seen the white jerseys, but then they have purple helmets, and so it's the white jerseys, black numbers, and then purple helmets, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, confusing color combination.
Like you just went and did that. Again with the stick checks, and this is Cranston's problem since really the opening whistle. They are getting low to the ground, which is what you want to do to be able to defend a ball, but they're not turning their body to defend the ball. They're just going stick in. That's why you're hearing the clacking sound every time a Cranston player goes in. They've gotten whistled for it every single play.
Sophia Lindsay passing it to Asherov. And Pacheco will have possession before a whistle is blown. A pass going to midfield.
Smart play there by Levy to lift her leg. That was going right for an impact.
Sophia Lindsay to hit it in from the 25. And getting past East defenders. Asherov.
Your Classical players yelling for a corner. They thought it went off of the foot of an East player inside the circle. Didn't get the call from the referee.
Play continuing. And another whistle blown there. As we just get constant breaks in play.
Yeah, Pacheco stepped into that one. She may have stepped on the ball as she was trying to possess.
Trying to get it out their circle, they do. And they're going to push it. And that'll be another whistle. Aviva Brody getting stolen. And going way out of bounds and bouncing.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been even if it went into the goal because she was well outside of the shooting circle. Struck that from about 40 yards out. I think she was trying to hope that she was going to get a deflection from a teammate inside that would have put it a goal. But where she was well outside of the blue line, so it wouldn't have been a goal. That's one of those things for people who aren't familiar to field hockey that kind of like go, wait, what? If the ball goes into the net and it's outside of the shooting circle, it's not a goal.
Purple territory before the whistle gets blown around the 30. Arya Lee hitting it in.
It's one of those West players you were talking about in the co-op. Arya Lee. Phenomenal lacrosse player for Cranston West.
Hopefully those skills translate pretty well to field hockey. Ball getting played at the 35. Getting it past the 25. Miss hit. And it'll be Tillinghast coming out with it.
There's a whistle for a stick check.
Yeah, a pretty loud one there.
That was a stick infraction against Tillinghast. She was trying to move forward, and you could just hear that one.
Ella Johnson to hit it in for Cranston.
Oh, good corner fight by Johnson on the obstruction there from the 4 of Classical. She turned her body away, so it made the Classical player front to the ball. The only second corner for East in the whole game.
From the left side of the goal. And try the corner input. Purple on the defense.
Foot fault.
Pushing it towards midfield. Before East will bring it back. Up that top sideline.
like to see them change that rule to where if it's inadvertent foot contact, you just let it play, because it's kind of unfortunate to just call a play dead because it hits a player's foot. If it's deliberative, yes.
Pacheco hitting it. Classical pushing towards the circle before the whistle will get blown.
A free hit from 25. Drawback was a little too much.
And a missed swing from Pacheco.
Just going for the long draw there and then just tried to golf it and did not connect. The ball was running away from her when she tried to go for the one touch.
Sophia Lindsay to hit it in. Let's see if they can get a shot attempt in. And no for now as the whistle's blown.
Yeah, Lee got a little too happy with her stick there. And that's the largest infraction that you see in field hockey, is that stick check infraction. Players so many times trying to poke check their sticks in, on especially on defensive plays and impacting with another player.
And another call there by the referees. Missed swing.
That was, you can chop at a ball, you just can't chop at a ball where the ball and the stick come above your waist. It's a dangerous hit, and you'll have it headed the other direction.
Tillinghast at the middle of the field, trying to push it down. And getting past. And a little bit of green to work with before Classical meets it. Kyla Greavy was one to reverse the movement of the ball. And Sophia Lindsay once again to try and see what she can do.
She's looking for a lane. She wants to go long draw. Yep.
Next, Tony Romo, actually the Tony Romo of field hockey, Matt Joles. Expert prediction as another whistle's blown. Deep shot.
Corner. Smart play. So go for the hit. You know you've got traffic in front of the net, so you're going to go for the hit. You're going to try to get a Cranston player to body out against the ball and see if you can earn that corner.
Or Kitterick, the goalkeeper for Cranston.
Interference. So they'll return the corner back to the spot. Kitterick, despite the record of East, has had a pretty darn good season in net. And so it's just one of those unfortunate things where the win-loss record in field hockey is so bizarre because your games are going to be 1-0, 2-1. And it's just going to, your win-loss record is not indicative of the type of season a goaltender can have in net.
Yeah, the good players just seem to be overshadowed by those bad-looking records. Noah Kitterick has 5 shutouts this season, including last game. It was a 0-0 tie versus the Villanovans.
Right, and it's 0-0. So, it's like you don't have a goals against average situation. You don't maybe have a high save percentage because you don't have a lot of shots on you, so, but it's so bizarre that you have like a a 1-1-4 record, and people will say, well, wait a minute, and I'm like, yeah, you're still a pretty darn good goaltender.
Yeah, that's win record does not reflect a single person's performance, the entire team's performance, and unfortunately for Kitterick, the rest of the team, has to step up and make some plays here in order to make that record look a little bit nicer. Classical hitting it.
East bench wanted a card on that play. Everybody started putting their hand up, but that was a Classical player tripped and fell before the East player kind of went down over top of her.
And another whistle.
It's Classical with an infraction at the 25.
Push into the 40. Pushing it. Classical to Lindsay. Where Pacheco meets it.
Got 1:40 left to go here in the half, so if East wants to try to capitalize and get something, they're going to have to move fast. Got too high. Chloe Pacheco has been guilty of that so many times in the games that I've watched her play so far this season. She is going for that chop hit. She gets too far underneath it. She makes that adjustment, comes a little bit more on top of that ball, and she's got that thing nailed, and East is going to have a fast break.
Lindsay hitting it near the border of the circle. And Matt, is the circle you're referring to the light blue?
Yes.
The farthest?
Yeah. So when you hear that get yelled by coaches from the sidelines, they'll say, "Get in the circle, put it in the circle," anything like that. What they're referring to is that light blue area that you see arcing around the goal. And I know it's a little bit hard to see on this field painted with so many different lines. But yes, that light blue area is what they call the shooting circle, or what field hockey players will just refer to as the circle. You have to have the ball inside of that territory to be able to offensively score.
Yeah, but so far we haven't seen...
We've seen a lot of balls in the circle.
Yeah,
we haven't seen a lot of balls put on net on the cage, either to Kitterick or the Classical keeper.
And that will be the
halftime.
And correct is going to be halftime. Score remains 0-0 in Cranston Stadium. Timmy and Matt Jones will be back with you for all the second half action here on the Fandom Sports Network. For now, we're going to take a break.
Cut back the other way to the 5. Did he get in? Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown. And Borth back out in front, a shot and a score. Into the zone, they're right on the post side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice, open goal and a score.
If they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal. Back the other way to the 5. Did he get in? Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown. And Borth back out in front. A shot and a score. Into the zone. They're right on the post side. Oh, they've got it! The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice. Open goal and a score.
If they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal. Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown. And board back out in front. A shot and a score. Into the zone. Right on the post side. Oh, they've got it. The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice. Open goal and a score.
You know, if they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal. Up back the other way to the 5. Did he get in? Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown. And board back out in front. A shot and a score. Into the zone. Right on the post side. Oh, they've got it. The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice. Open goal and a score.
You know, if they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal. Up back the other way to the 5. Did he get in? Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown. And board back out in front. A shot and a score. Into the zone. Right on the post side. Oh, they've got it. The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice. Open goal and a score.
You know, if they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal. Up back the other way to the 5. Did he get in? Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown. And board back out in front. A shot and a score. Into the zone. Right on the post side. Oh, they've got it. The way the opportunity comes back in center of the ice. Open goal and a score.
You know, if they can get the ball into that, when King goes around the horn herself.
There's going to be a shot. Coming out is White. The Falcons nail it. Another shot on goal. Up back the other way to the 5. Did he get in? Lynch sets back. Powers through. First down and then some. He's going to go all the way down 20. 10 to the races. Touchdown. And board back out in front. A shot and a score.
And we're back.
All right, welcome back everybody to Cranston Stadium in Cranston, Rhode Island. Hello or bonjour if you're watching this in France. Tim Bean here along with Matt Joles, here to commentate some field hockey where looks like Glasgow will start to hit it. And Matt, so far you haven't seen any strikes or like shot attempts from either side, so.
Yeah, a couple of really good plays inside of the circle, but no one's taken that real hard strike yet to be able to try to get one on net. The strikes that we have seen have come from outside and distance. So we'll see what the coaches talked about during the halftime break, see if somebody dials up something differently. For both Classical and Cranston East, have to have better control on those corner inserts. Both times we've seen kind of very loose corner inserts that really haven't developed something well for them.
Violet Sutton finally catching up to the ball and trying to get away. As it's taken away by East number 16 Aria Lee. As it's dangerously close to Classical's goal. And after halftime, both teams switched their field position, so Classical will be on the left side now, and the Cranston Co-op on the right. Just a reminder that the purple are wearing their purple jerseys, and the other team is the Cranston Co-op. All you need to know.
I appreciate how they share, especially with the co-op sides. Obviously field hockey, one of those sports, ice hockey, another, is sharing the school side of it as well. So, this field hockey team decked out in the green and white, wearing the East colors, East across the front of the jerseys. We'll go to ice hockey season in a couple of months from now, and that co-op side will be in the red and gray with Falcons across the front of it for Cranston West. And that's, sharing the school sides as well. And this, this co-op as it's something that I feel is kind of unique to Rhode Island. I never saw this in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, where I was before I moved up here a couple of years ago to become a part of Fans Only Sports Network.
Yeah, it's always, it's not only a great way to at least have enough players to get to play field hockey, but also a great promotion of unity between the schools, which we have been trying to promote, but hasn't.
Until Thanksgiving Day, when everyone hates each other for 3 hours.
Yeah, some bad memories from the Thanksgiving game in 2021, which you commented.
Depends on which side you're on.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on the west side, you love the way Thanksgiving Day went. If you're on the east side, you were scratching your heads at the way that game ended. But I got to say, because that was my first Thanksgiving Day game that I got to do, because I came up here in the middle of co-op and didn't have the Thanksgiving games for the first, seasons that I was up here. That was one heck of a game. And it was just such an electric atmosphere. And I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving this year and being back here in the stadium for another edition of that Thanksgiving Day Classic.
Yeah, and I believe East will technically have home field advantage that game. They flip-flop every year. And
they will. It's gonna be an East home game this year by technicality.
And it should be interesting for former West principal Tom Barberi, who is now the principal for us, Cranston East. So we'll see his true colors this Thanksgiving game, as East will get it inside the circle.
Wow, surprise call there from the referee, because Aria Lee had her stick to that ball and looked like she had the turn. I guess she impacted first. Yeah, Barberi, now the principal at East. Fontaine, who was the assistant principal at West, now is the principal at West. And you just wonder, the two guys who used to work together now sort of are on the opposite sides. Is there going to be a funny little wager maybe between the two former colleagues?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a interesting quote-unquote family reunion.
That's you know what? I haven't heard anybody yet put it that way. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, Mr. Barberi, a lover of high school sports, has done a great job of bringing the fans here to the stadium, something we haven't really seen before last year.
Yeah, the wind just picked up heavily all of a sudden.
Yeah, just battering our microphones right now as he's trying to work that sideline. Pacheco fading the classical defender before missing that swing. And it will be a referee call.
Yeah, most likely body contact. Oh, corner on a infraction, is a kicked ball by an East player right in the shooting circle area.
Classical's had 3 corner shots East territory. East 2 as the whistle's blown again. 8:40 left to go on the official scoreboard in Cranston Stadium.
Still got a whole fourth to play after this. But really, again, still good possession play between both sides, but no one really broke in. Oh, here's a good opportunity.
East, a chance to get it, but the classical goalkeeper will kick it away.
Yeah, so that kick away, smartly played by the classical keeper, but it gives the ball back to East. They're going to get it from 30.
One of the rare shot attempts we've seen this match. Lee. And whistle will be blown with Ella Johnson in possession of it. Johnson hitting it deep. Ball staying still near the goal net. Still inside the circle. And can they score? Not yet. And
that's in.
And East will get their first goal of the match.
That is a amazing final effort by East to really push that one through, and great job from the 9 for East, and then the 13, I want to say it was. Yeah, it was 13 who got the final hit to get the goal.
Sarah Regine on the goal for East, or the Cranston Co-op. East has it inside classical circle again.
Another corner called. So East really has changed the dynamic of what they're doing here in this third. They're really putting the pressure on Classical, forcing them to have to body the ball a little bit more, and that's what's forcing these corners.
Cranston, another shot attempt. And no goals this time.
Yeah, right across the backside, and Aria Lee was trying to move that across. I think it got stepped on by an East player.
Classical. Pushing it to east side of the field. Moving towards that middle now. Eli Howlett moving it forward. And a call by the referees there. Classical inside the circle. And will roll out of bounds.
I come off Classical last. Yeah, it's going to be an East hit. That did. That came off of Classical last. Here's Pacheco again with that chop. Good draw.
Still in East territory before East will recover it. Pacheco. Pushing it. Past midfield. Cranston. Past midfield to the 40.
About 4.5 left to go here in this third.
That top sideline. Classical pushing near the 25-meter line. As represented by the dotted half circle.
Turning into a field hockey expert over there.
Yeah. Only just took me a half time of learning to truly know the ins and outs. I'm totally not bluffing here.
It's surprising that for as many whistles as there are in a field hockey game, if you ever look at a official sheet that has like the pictures of like the referee signals, it literally fits on one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Like that's all the rules of field hockey can literally fit on one sheet of paper. And you know, it just seems people are like, there's so many whistles. It's the same call over and over. It's repetitive calls for the same infraction all the time. There's really only about like 11 or 12 infractions in the course of a game.
Yeah, so field hockey, I can infer a lot of simple mistakes that, you know, just even in 12 penalties, you know, there's still a lot of mistakes to be made.
Yeah, for sure. Fourth corner coming up for Classical.
Sophia Lindsay to hit it in. And a battle for inside the circle as another whistle is blown.
Yeah, another corner, and that one, they were drawing the play back to the top of the circle. Aria Lee came out. She got behind a player, pushed that player down, so they're going to call the corner back because it was inside the circle.
Another corner input here. Giving it to Colangelo, who passes to her teammate as Maura Kitterick will stop it in its tracks. Classical dangerously close to scoring. And a stoppage of play here.
Yeah, Pacheco was trying to go for it right on the byline, and it tipped right off the edge of her stick over the byline. She thought for a second she had kicked it and they were going to get a corner called, but it's just that free hit.
Inside the circle before whistle's blown again.
Oh, good step.
Classical playing it at the 40. And Colangelo will hit it. A lot of play being played down to that bottom sideline. Getting it to the 30. It's been in East Territory for quite some while.
Might end the quarter in East Territory.
Still 1-0. Less than a minute to go in the third quarter here at Cranston Stadium.
A little bit of disagreement to where the ball was supposed to go. Another late corner called. That is the second time they've gotten a corner in the last 30 seconds of a quarter. They did back in the first. And that time is, again, questionable whether there was contact, really.
Yeah, and the question is, will the corner be kicked or corner hit be made now or at the beginning of the fourth quarter?
Well, so the quarter will end, but you have to run the sequence of play. So this is almost like a free play. It's basically going to run until the sequence of play ends.
No time on the clock, still in action, and what a good play by Maura Kitterick to...
Did it deflect off? It did. So it's going to be another corner because Kitterick kicked it as it was in... If it was in course of shot, It has to be a corner. Yep, Kitterick kicked it while it was in course of a shot. So it's going to go to the corner.
Another corner from Classical.
Good play by Aria Lee. Oh, no way.
Referees are going to blow the whistle. And with that, is that going to mark the end of the...
No, he called another corner. He's going to say it impacted Lee's leg, the shin pad area, before it actually had impacted her stick.
Well, to all the field hockey fans out there, be happy you're getting a couple 4 seconds of play as that shot's to the right.
Yeah, and that's it, because that went underneath all the East players, and it came off of a Classical player.
And
that'll be the end of the quarter.
The end of the third quarter. East scoring here, 1-0. We'll be back with more action in the fourth quarter. We're going to be taking a quick break.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion or you think a concussion has occurred.
Yeah.
The acute problems that exist later on in life, if we can take care of these at an early age and start getting some of these things to our children and grandchildren, and I think we can make this game, our game, football, a safer place.
And so the whole goal is we're trying to make the game safer. And so Odyssey and this drug, we believe, can be a game changer in so many different ways. Yes, on the football field, in the game of football, because that's where my passion lies, but also in the game of life.
All right, and we have reached the fourth quarter of action here at Cranston Stadium. Cranston Co-op scoring in the third quarter to make it 1-0. It was a Sarah Regine goal, and East will try to maintain that lead and maybe even run up the score. To me here along with Matt Jones. And Matt, what was do you think that, or let's talk about the last.
The third corner.
Yeah, the third corner.
Yeah, it should not have been called by the referee. And Aria Lee was talking with the referee afterward. You could hear consternation from the East bench, from the coaching staff about that. It impacted her foot at the same time of her stick as she was charging out. And it kind of alludes to that comment that I made earlier in the game about these incidental contact situations. You really got to just get them out of being called fouls, because it's unfair to the players. Lee made a great defensive play.
Yeah, that third corner could have possibly been a game changer, as it was almost a goal, but went wide right and out of bounds, and ending the third quarter there. And it's now inside East Circle and out now, getting out the 25-meter mark. Pacheco to swing it. Powerful hit going past midfield.
Yeah, Regine needs to get she knows it too. She just threw her head back. She needs to get her stick down a little bit more when you've got players making those long hits. You'll hear that so many times out of coaches at every level. Sticks down, sticks down, sticks down.
Lee with it for a second before Purple retakes it. Ball being played past the 40. Tillinghast will get it to number 1, Wamia Dodge.
How many lacrosse players can you put on a field hockey team? 11. Because honestly, so many of these names that you're hearing us call now in fall come back in the spring during lacrosse season. You're going to call the same names.
Fun to know. Might as well keep these rosters in hand.
Yeah, you're going to call a lot of these players in the springtime during lacrosse season.
Going deep into the classical circle. Cranston preying on that. And Notoriani will get a whistle blown.
Out of play.
Tillinghast passing gets directly to Purple's Madeline Colangelo. As we wait for action to resume.
It looks like they 8 for East with the insert on the touchline.
Ella Johnson inserting. Purple with it, bringing it to midfield. Vitariani passing to Tillinghast before she gets it to the other team. Moving around is number 8, Eli Howlett. Inside the circle. He's trying to make some defensive stops. And it will be Aria Lee moving it down. Lee to hit it. Classical bring it past midfield into the east side. Miss swing and trips.
Yeah, he's playing a lot of contain right now, and you can hear the East coaches kind of like yelling at them to stop watching. They've got to be very careful. You want to obviously protect your zone, but at the same time, you don't want to be so far back that you open up yourself to a potential classical attack. You're only up 1, and yes, there's 10.5 left to play.
Hitting from near midfield. Chloe Landy for Cranston to have possession before the whistle was blown, and another whistle will be blown again.
Stepped on it inside the circle. So that's going to be an East corner. Second foot fault that we've seen inside of a circle. 1 on East, 1 on Classical now.
Aria Lee hitting it in. Getting to her nearest teammate before passing to the
Draw
middle.
that.
And
Draw that.
Possible, and there was just a crowd of players there before the ball finally getting out the circle.
East 2 opportunities right in front to strike it. Could have had a draw either way. And they just instead not entirely sure what they were looking for. They had the space.
Purple have some green to work with. Rhea Frayne passing to her teammate inside the circle. Blown whistle.
And a corner called again, and that's, I think, I'm going to say that's the second or third time that Classical's gotten a corner now for interference right in front of the cage, and it's close that you haven't seen a Cranston player get a card yet. Oh, that's a miss hit. Good charge by Aria Lee.
Another whistle blown. Ref pointing towards the purple side of the goal. Hitting to midfield.
So on that last insert, you saw the ball kind of just like skip off the line on the hit, didn't get all the way out to the circle. Aria Lee charging out there. That was a smart play by Lee to recognize the miss hit from the insert. Once you get that hit, if it's in the zone still, it's a live ball.
Purple gonna move it before being taken away by Cranston East or Cranston Co-op. Lily Tillinghast. Purple retake it. Advance it to the 40, now to midfield. Pacheco taking it away before hitting the classical player. Deep near the circle for Cranston. Pacheco again before
Footfall.
Footfall on Kalila Woods, Jr. Pacheco, once again, she's seen a lot of action with the ball. And Ella Johnson trying to...
And timeout called by Classical.
First one called so far.
That'll be their only one they'll call. It's 6:43 or 6:52. They're showing on the clock left in this game.
Score remaining 1-0.
So Cranston Co-op for field hockey will be back in action tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Eastern time as they take on Pilgrim.
And it should be a fun game to watch, as always with Cranston Athletics.
Yeah, and good football game tomorrow night as well. Cranston West Falcons open up their season, their home season, because they've been on the road. Open up their home season against East Providence. That should be a good game to see as well. East Providence got blown out by Cumberland 31-7 last week.
Yeah, and Cranston, it will also be their homecoming game. So for any West student watching this right now, have fun there.
I feel like the football season has had such an odd schedule with teams opening away first 2-3 weeks of the season. You get your game 4 of the season, first home game. It's your homecoming because it's late September, early October already. And I saw that happen in the college side with Holy Cross, and Holy Cross played their home opener in game 3 of the season, and it was homecoming.
And all I have to say is hope West homecoming goes worse than East.
Oh.
I'm sorry to say. That might have been
Yikes.
for.
Yikes. Timeen showing his colors on a...
Yeah, I know ours is not the greatest, but hopefully you guys do worse than that. No disrespect to the West Co-op or the West players on the Co-op, as Ariel Lee will push it near the circle.
Yeah, I had a fun one last year during ice hockey season. We broadcast University of Rhode Island ice hockey, and URI was playing against Drexel. I went to Drexel, and I'm calling the game for URI as a Drexel alum, and I'm like, oh, I got to bite my tongue.
Yeah, it's always weird commentating against your, favorite team or, alumni. just as it might for me if I ever call West games. That would be Classical in possession of the ball.
Yeah, you're going to have to take it all the way back. They free started a little too soon. Look at Aria Lee. Smart play to drag that one out.
Colangelo hitting it directly to her. And it will be another blown whistle.
That ability to catch and pull from the air, sort of a new rule to college and high school. We've seen that in internationals for years. And they used to call it unsafe in high school, and now they let it into the game.
Inside the circle. East could have another opportunity to score if they make their chances on it. Going out of the circle now, out of the 25-meter line. Pushing to the 30 before the whistle is blown.
I think East just trying to work more defensively, kind of really put a lot of players in the midfield, just try to contain Classical from getting into the lower third, see if they can just shepherd this game to the finish line with 4 left to go. Total miss hit.
Still 1-0 ball game. Ooh, good move from the purple. At midfield towards the top sideline.
That's going to stop the clock.
A player down quickly for Cranston, but manages to get back up.
Yeah, it looks to be Chloe Pacheco just may have gotten a stick to her stomach for a quick second.
And action will resume. Pacheco. Whistle blown.
That's going to be East or Classical ball up around about the 30 after the kick.
Colangelo to hit it to the left side. Miss hit there. Another blown whistle.
Short draw.
Temperatures lowering a bit here at Cranston Stadium.
And that wind started blowing in. as soon as about the late second, early third, and that wind started blowing in, and all of a sudden it has changed drastically.
And you can probably even hear the wind right now as it's just hammering us here up near the press box. But at Fans Only Sports, we survive the elements.
Unless it's raining. We're not. We've had some games where, oh boy.
Yeah, as long as anything
It was
doesn't fall
not fun.
as long as anything doesn't fall on us from the sky, we should be okay to work.
Yeah, I think it was Narragansett Tollgate football season last year, and it was so windy, we actually had to abandon the game because there was just no way to brace anything. We were just completely... Wasn't a way to brace ourselves, and the wind was so strong.
Originally had to go earlier, now pushing it to Classical territory. Purple was something to work with in terms of open field. Passing to midfield. Finding the open teammate. And a missed hit. A blown opportunity there from Asherov.
Cranston just needs to get this down into the lower third. If they can stick this down in the lower third, they can shepherd this game out.
Less than a minute to go here.
Levy's got to get that ball through. Yes, that's it.
And as we almost hit the 30-second mark, we have to remind you your scores. Cranston Co-op 1, Purple nothing.
It's going to be Classical with a free hit from the 30. They're going to have to long strike this one. This is going to have to go all the way down.
10 seconds to go. Can a miracle happen? Classical pushing towards down the sideline to East Territory. He's recovering. Classical's the ball. And that will be the end of the game here at Cranston Stadium. The Cranston Co-op wins 1-0 thanks to a Sarah Regine goal in the third. This has been Tim Bean and Matt Jones for Fans Only Sports Network. Wishing you guys a great night and a thank you for watching. Signing out.